When I was a kid, I watched an American horror movie called The Exorcist. And let me tell you, that movie became my official childhood nightmare. Picture this, a tiny little girl, eyes rolled back so far you'd think she was trying to see the back of her head twisting 180 degrees like a broken puppet, and her mouth producing sounds so terrifying they'd make a grown man cry. Now, imagine being a teenager, say 12 or 13 years old, and experiencing that. How terrifying was that for me? I was so scared that for the next 2.5 years, I couldn't even turn off the lights when I went to bed. Every night, I was like, sure, the boogeyman can come in, but I'm not about to deal with that girl. At the time, I told myself, it's probably just because I'm too young. My brain isn't strong enough to handle this kind of trauma. It was like a weird self-talk motivational speech. Maybe in 10 years, I'll be stronger, more mentally resilient, and I'll never have to deal with a possessed little girl again. 10 years later, I decided to watch The Exorcist again, and guess what? It wasn't just a childhood nightmare anymore. It had transformed into a full-blown, painful adolescence horror show. So much for being stronger. Now, I totally get the appeal of action movies. Who doesn't like explosions, fast cars, and some epic fight scenes? It's like the cinematic equivalent of a roller coaster ride, except the only thing you have to worry about is your popcorn spilling. I also get people who love romance movies, love Under the Stars, Kissing in the Rain, basically every Hallmark movie ever. It's like, these two are clearly meant to be, right? But horror movie lovers, I just can't wrap my head around it. Horror movie fans are like those weirdos who actively enjoy being scared. They're the ones that say, I love the adrenaline. But really, who willingly decides to turn themselves into a fear factory, constantly jumping at shadows and freaking out when the fridge door creaks open? I mean, come on. For people like me who are basically living, breathing anxiety machines, if I wanted to feel excited, I'd rather watch a women's wrestling match. At least there, I don't have to deal with ghosts chasing me around. But then, I observe that horror movie fans come in two distinct categories. The first type is the shy kind. They're like, oh no, I don't like horror movies, while their hands are shaking like they're holding onto a live wire, and their eyes are glued to the screen. It's like, sure, I don't love being scared, but I'll keep watching because, I love to be scared. They're basically saying fear's my specialty, but don't judge me for it. Then there's the second type, the die-hard horror lovers. These are the people who own their fear. They don't hide it. Every time a new horror movie drops, they're like kids in a candy store. Their eyes light up, and you can practically see the excitement in their face like they just found a treasure chest of free Netflix subscriptions. It's like, haha, new horror movie? Yes, please. I'm downloading this bad boy now and watching it on my brand new laptop. Let's get this nightmare party started.
What?
But here's the real kicker. The people who seem the sweetest and the most innocent are usually the ones who love horror movies the most. Take that cute, quiet girl, the one who always smiles and says please and thank you. But when she watches a horror movie, she looks like she's getting ready for battle. Seriously, her excitement levels go from, hey, I'm sweet and wholesome, to I'll destroy anyone that comes near me in this haunted house. It's like she's prepping for a fight with the supernatural, and she's absolutely ready. But hey, I get it. Everyone has their own taste. For those who love horror films, it's their way of embracing life. For people like me, though, watching horror is like signing up for an emotional roller coaster ride that's bound to make you scream and maybe question your life choices. It's like, sure, I'll brave this fear, but there's absolutely no way I'm doing it again. And in the end, maybe the world does need its horror movie fans, right? But me, yeah, I think I'll just stay in my safe little bubble, away from anything that's ever called itself a ghost. Now, if you're like me, the kind of person who sees a shadow in the corner and immediately bolts like your life depends on it, then let me save you some trouble. Don't test your psychological limits with horror films. Just don't do it. However, if you absolutely must see one, here's the easiest way to banish your fear. Crank up some high-energy music like Eye of the Tiger. Seriously, no ghost or creepy thing can handle that level of power. Your brain will be so focused on jamming out that the horror movie just won't have a chance. Let's be real for a second. Back in the day, fear had a pretty solid purpose. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but fear kept us alive. Imagine you're out in the wild and you encounter a dangerous animal or hear a tree fall in the woods. Your brain instantly activates fight or flight. It's like, all right, I'm going to freak you out enough that you either run faster than Usain Bolt or fight like a superhero. At this point, your heart's beating so fast you'd think you're in the middle of a race. Your muscles are tighter than a drum, and everything else just shuts down. You won't even care about things like, do I like this person? Or what am I having for lunch? You're just focused on surviving. That's what scientists call the fight or flight response. It's the body's instinctual way of helping you survive and avoid those oh crap moments. And that's why it's so helpful, especially when it comes to avoiding things that go bump in the night. Now, when we face a dangerous situation, whether it's in the woods or the middle of a horror movie, our brain goes into survival mode. If we manage to escape, we get rewarded, our brain releases dopamine, and suddenly we feel like we just won a gold medal in the I Survived Olympics. But when we're watching horror movies, the brain still recognizes the danger in the movie. But as soon as we realize that, oh, hold up, this is all fake, the brain goes, oh, okay, you made it through. Here's your dopamine prize. In short, the satisfaction of watching horror movies is actually your brain rewarding you for surviving. Well, nothing. It's like healthy self-inflicted harm. No actual damage, just a lot of simulated fear. And if you're into that sort of thing, maybe that's why people love participating in activities like bungee jumping, skydiving, or even playing horror video games. Those are high-stakes, heart-pounding activities, and it's what gets their adrenaline going. It's no wonder they keep coming back for more. Another cool phenomenon in psychology is something called the suspension bridge effect. Picture this, a girl walking across a suspension bridge, her heart pounding, palms sweating. Now, if she meets someone from the opposite sex during that moment, she's going to feel like her heart is racing because of the love at first sight moment. It's like, whoa, he's the one. And then she might open up to him. But the truth is, it's not love. It's just the hormones in her body playing tricks on her brain. Simply put, when two people go through a shared experience, especially something stressful or dangerous, they're more likely to form a closer bond. This is why in movies, we often see the girl falling for the guy who saved her from the scary situation. It's not just the opposite sex either. In fact, when friends go through hard times together, they're likely to become even closer. There's a saying that the truest friendships between men are forged when they survive crazy stuff together, and it's like, oh, you both went through that wild situation. You must have each other's backs forever. In the end, shared experiences strengthen relationships, whether they're romantic or platonic. So, if you want your relationship with the girl you like to move to the next level, The easiest way is take her to a horror movie. Or better yet, take her to a haunted house or some terrifying adventure. Of course, the prerequisite is you have to actually have a girl you like to begin with.